The VCD exam almost always has a rendering question. These are examples from the last 3 years with exemplar solutions. Now this question is normally worth 9 marks, so that only gives you 9 minutes to render a product and represent different surface textures, a light source and shadows. This is a crash course in rendering different surface textures in the Unit 4 VCD exam. You could be asked to render any sort of product texture from plastic right through to grass. I'm going to stick with some basics, but you guys can take these ideas and actually apply them to any different surface texture. You need to always consider where the light is coming from and where the shadows are going to fall. I'm going to start with concrete. Make sure you come into the exam with all of your coloured pencils sharpened, ready to go, so you're not wasting time doing that. Now in the exam, you're actually aiming to represent a texture rather than show it realistically. So we need to really think about what is the quickest way we can represent a surface texture as possible. Seeing as my light source is here, with concrete, I'm going to start by using the side of my pencil to as neatly as possible, using a crosshatch technique, and smoothly as possible render my background colour. This could have some different tones in it if you like. The biggest thing I'm aiming to do is to not show the lines in my rendering and have a light area where the light is coming from and a dark area at the other end. Just to be clever, I'm going to add in a bit of blue just to give it a bit more depth. Now when I think of concrete, I think of the cracks in the concrete. So making sure that my pencil is actually nice and sharp. I'm going to draw in with a sharp pencil the cracks that would possibly appear in concrete, and then add in some little tiny dots that represent the air bubbles that appear in concrete because of the way that it's poured. Okay, so that's concrete texture. Very quick, very basic. Wood grain, obviously I'm going to need some different coloured browns. It's not going to be one flat brown. I would add in a few different colours. But I'll start with one basic colour to begin with to get my underlying tones and my light source. Up here where it's really hitting the light source really close to it, that can almost be pretty much white. Then use some different browns to add in some tonal variations. Might even add some yellow into that, or orange. Now I need to come back in with a sharp pencil, and I'm going to add in the actual lines that traditionally appear into wood. So here we have wood grain. With canvas, this could be just like a burlap or something. I don't have a huge range of colours here, so I'm just going to draw it in a really light brown. The light's pretty much coming down from the top. You've also got to think about the fact that canvas is a soft product, so there's not going to be a lot of harsh tonal lines in that. It's going to it's absorbed when in fabrics and things like that when it's a soft texture. So we have a canvas texture, and I might come in after and draw in with a sharp pencil. Some lines to represent the texture of canvas. Okay, canvas texture. Felt, so I might do a blue felt. This could be wool. And don't be afraid to add in some different tones, hues of the same color. Nice sharp pencil, and you can add in like some little woolly circles. So this technique where you draw the tone in and then you actually come back with a sharp pencil and add in the surface texture is something you can use for any surface texture that you encounter. You just got to think of the quickest way to represent that surface texture. Now I'm going to talk about glass. If you don't have a lot of colours, what you can use is a light blue and a grey together. And when light hits glass, it is going to be quite harsh, and you're going to see lines. So the way I represent glass is I use vertical lines. Just remember that glass is see-through, so if there is detail, if it's not a single pane of glass like a window, you will actually be able to see through it to whatever is on the other side of it. Have to black in there if you need to. So we have a glass, and with metal it's very similar to glass in that you get these really harsh surface texture lines. So just pretending like this is a metal teapot. Sketching in where I think the lines might go to start with. just adding a couple of lines going round to represent that it is a curved object. One last thing that you can do is add in any shadows. So if we're still working off our light source up here, I would have a shadow hitting up that way. The same thing here and here. There we have some basic rendering techniques for the Unit 4 VCD exam. Now you can go to slide 9 on the practical question PowerPoint and complete these practice tasks.